to recover in place. For today's mobility routine, we're going to utilize a foam roller and some floor space. Alright, to start us off here, you can follow along with me. I'm going to be starting to roll out my right glute to begin with. Alright, so I'm going to come on down, right, place my foam roller down here, sitting on it, right, and I'm only sitting on my right glute. Alright, so I'm just going to roll back and forth. I can have my arms behind me to support me as I do this. And I'm just going to get some passes on that right glute. Going back and forth, going to hunt for some tight areas. Find a tight spot, I can do small passes on it or just kind of hang out in that area. Alright, so from here now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that right leg, so right glute, right leg crosses over. Just kind of pulls that glute max out a little bit. Starting to feel some of the other stuff out there underneath the glute max and those muscles there. Again, just kind of hunting around for some good spots. Roll over by the hip, by the sit bone, over by the sacrum. Alright, now we're going to switch sides. I'll shift around this way so you can see me here. So again, we'll start off with a straight leg once again. Rolling that out. Nice straight leg. And just hunt around for some tight spots. So it's my left leg here, so I'm going to cross that left leg over my right, so I'm going up that left glute. So this left leg is crossed over here. Again, I'm just going to continue to roll that out, hunt for some tight areas. If I find a tight spot, I can kind of just hang out on it, or just do some small passes on it. Just working your breathing as you do this. So from here, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to roll out our hamstrings, all right? So I'm just going to start off with my left one, I'm already on my left side here. So again, for this, just kind of hunt around some tight areas. I'm not rolling the back of my knee, but I'm rolling all the way up to where that glute is, right? Kind of where that sit bone is, and just shy of the back of the knee there. Just rolling that out. I can play around with just orientation of the foot, right? Have the foot come in, have the toes point up, toes point out. Right, that way I can kind of feel the outside, middle, and inside pieces of your hamstring. Just working your breath as you roll. Get my other leg now. Alright, so I'm getting my right leg, right? Just going up and down. I'm going to avoid the back of the knee here, but I'm rolling all the way up into those, where that sit bone is, all the way up there. And again, I can play around the orientation of the foot, right? Toes pointing out, up or in, depends on kind of where that's going to kind of strike me there in the hamstring. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go after my mid-back, alright? So mid-back here, just below my shoulder blades here. If you like, you can support your head here. So if I have some neck stuff, I can just take my hands and I just kind of do a light just hold of my neck. I'm not wrenching it or anything like that. I'm just supporting my head, right? And then I'm just going to roll that mid-back, right? Just right up and down, just nice and smooth. So rolling, I'm not rolling my neck, right? So I roll just shy of the neck, right? And then I'm just going to roll back and forth, right? Just under those shoulder blades, roll through the shoulder blades, but not the neck. Right? Another thing you can do is give yourself a hug, right? So I'll give yourself a hug, tuck the chin slightly, and roll that exact same area, right? Might get some nice pops and cracks out of this mid-back. Usually it's a little tight on most of us. Let's get some nice smooth passes back and forth. Alright, so from here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to reset myself a little bit. So I'm still in frame. Arms are going to go overhead. Roll the exact same area, just a little bit of a different feel as you roll that out. Slight little tuck in the chin. Mid-back. Last thing I'm going to get into is my lat. So for the lat here, kind of going from like mid-armpit down. These are usually pretty tight. They don't feel overly great. So again, I'm just coming in on the side. If I want to support my head, I can totally support my head here. But again, I'm going back and forth. Right, I can kind of shift my weight a little bit forward here. So I've kind of shifted my weight over. I'm going to get some other muscles that live in that area as well. I can shift back, getting some of those. I can support my head and going back and forth like so. Just kind of hunt for some tight areas as we go through this. I'm going to kind of work my way from the armpit down a little bit here. So I'm kind of just going back and forth. I've kind of found a pretty good spot on me. So I'm just going back and forth on it, nice small passes. Find another spot here. Get one more spot. Good. I'm just going to get that nice rolling up and down again. Good. All right. We're going to get the other side. I know it's kind of rough, so we're not going to spend a ton of time on that one, just especially if it's your first time. I want to just see how that responds. Again, come on your side. You can support your head if you like. All right. Rolling back and forth over it. Just kind of feeling out where those tight areas are going to be. Right. I can shift myself forward. Kind of see how some of the muscles are doing right there. I can shift back. See how some of them are doing. Again, go slow, right? Some of these areas are pretty sensitive. You may have never rolled them ever. Even if you have, they're still pretty tight. So I'm just going to start here up here, kind of mid-armpit, and I'm just shifting back and forth. Found a good bit that I'm just going to work through on this. All right, I'll kind of go down a little bit more, find a new spot, roughly about an inch down. Going back and forth. I'm just doing some small passes back and forth, shifting my body side to side. Get about 2 more spots here in the lats. Let's find one more spot. not spending too much time in those, especially for your first time on it. That is all I've got for you today. This has been Recover in Place. Thanks for coming by.